You know, sometimes it feels like things change without warning, doesn't it? One minute, you're walking to the mailbox just like you always have, and the next, it feels like you're dragging your feet more than usual. Maybe you've even found yourself reaching for something to steady yourself when you get up from the couch, or you notice you've been holding onto walls or railings more than before. It's a bit unsettling, isn't it? But you're not alone. In fact, if you've noticed yourself losing balance more often as you've gotten older, there's a good reason for it, and it's not all in your head. This is something that happens to nearly everyone, and it's tied to a number of changes that naturally occur in the body as we age. Understanding why this happens and how to address it can help you take control and feel more confident as you move through your daily life. So, in this video I'm going to talk about why balance becomes more difficult after 60, and I promise by the end you'll feel better about how to deal with it. We're going to take a closer look at 12 reasons this happens and most importantly what you can do about it. Trust me, these are things you can start working on today and they can make a real difference in your life. And hey, before we dive into it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss out on all the helpful tips I'll be sharing with you. Now let's talk about the first reason. And I'll tell you, it's something most of us don't even think about until it starts to affect us. The first big reason you might lose balance as you age is the loss of muscle mass. As we get older, we naturally start to lose muscle mass, a condition called sarcopenia. I'm sure you've heard the term, use it or lose it, when it comes to staying in shape, and when it comes to balance, this couldn't be truer. Our muscles are crucial to stabilizing our body and helping us stay upright, but as muscle mass decreases, so does our ability to keep our balance. Without the strength to hold ourselves steady, we're more likely to stumble or lose our footing. And it's not just about looking good or staying strong, it's about staying safe. If you found yourself feeling weaker than you used to, I want you to know this is a common issue, but also one that can be improved with simple strength training exercises. You don't have to go to the gym for hours. Even light resistance exercises at home can make a huge difference in keeping those muscles strong. The second reason why you might be losing your balance is stiff joint. As we age, our joints don't move quite as smoothly as they once did. When we're younger, our joints have plenty of lubrication and cushioning so they move with ease. But over time, the cartilage in our joints can begin to wear down, especially in places like the knees, hips, and spine. This wear and tear can cause stiffness and discomfort, which ultimately affects our balance. When your joints are stiff or even a little painful, it's harder to stand tall or move fluidly. Have you ever tried to get up from a chair after sitting for a while, and felt like your knees weren't quite as responsive as they used to be? That's exactly what I'm talking about. The good news is there are things you can do to help. Gentle stretching, yoga, and even swimming can work wonders for improving joint mobility and reducing stiffness. Now, speaking of mobility, this brings me to the third reason, and it's something that most people don't always connect to balance issues. As we age, our sense of proprioception, that's the sense that tells us where our body is in space, can decline. In other words, we can become less aware of where we are in relation to our surroundings. Imagine standing up and feeling a little bit disoriented, like your brain doesn't quite know where your feet are in relation to the floor. It's not something you notice at first, but over time, it can make it harder to keep your balance, especially when you're walking or making quick movements. This decline in proprioception happens because the nerves in our body that send signals to our brain get less efficient as we get older. These little misfires can leave you feeling like you're not quite sure where your feet are landing, which is why you might feel wobbly when you stand or move.
It's not all doom and gloom, though. There are small exercises and activities that can really help you work on your proprioception. Simple things like standing on one foot for a few seconds at a time, or walking heel to toe in a straight line, can help train your brain and body to communicate better and improve your awareness of where you are in space. So, if you notice a little more wobbly feeling lately, just know you're not imagining it. And more importantly, there are real, simple things you can do to improve your balance. Now that we've covered the first few reasons why balance becomes trickier as we age, let's dive into a couple more that might hit close to home for many of you. Trust me, these next points are just as important, and they'll help you understand how balance affects the way we move and interact with the world. Have you ever noticed that you seem to tire a little faster than you used to? Maybe you used to be able to stand or walk around for hours without a problem, but now, even short trips feel more exhausting. This is something many people experience, and it's related to the natural decline in stamina that comes with aging. When we don't have the same energy or endurance, it's harder to maintain good posture, which ultimately impacts our balance. We start to slouch or lean to one side because it feels easier or more comfortable, and before we know it, we're no longer standing tall. Our bodies naturally want to conserve energy, And when we don't have enough strength to support ourselves, we might feel like we're constantly teetering on the edge. But here's the good news. Just like with muscle loss, stamina can be built back up. It doesn't take intense workouts or long hours at the gym. It's about gradually increasing your activity levels in a way that's gentle and sustainable. Start with things like walking around the block a few times a week, or even simple chair exercises. You'd be amazed how much a little regular movement can build your stamina and improve your balance. And let me tell you, the more stamina you have, the easier it becomes to stand and move with confidence without worrying about getting tired too quickly. Now, moving on to something a lot of people don't realize, medications. Have you or someone you know ever felt a little more dizzy or unsteady after starting a new prescription? It's something I've heard about time and time again. Certain medications, especially those used to manage high blood pressure, depression, or even chronic pain, can have side effects that mess with your balance. These medications can make you feel lightheaded or cause your blood pressure to fluctuate in ways that throw off your sense of equilibrium. For example, a common side effect of some blood pressure medications is dizziness, which is exactly what you don't want when you're trying to stay steady on your feet. And with age, we often have to take more medications than we used to, which increases the chances of feeling that off-kilter sensation. If you've been prescribed new medication and started noticing your balance slipping, don't be afraid to bring it up with your doctor. There may be ways to adjust your treatment plan or switch to something that doesn't have those side effects. And if that's not an option, you can still make small adjustments in your daily routine. For example, be cautious when standing up quickly and take your time to adjust to a sitting or standing position to avoid the dizziness that might come with certain meds. And of course, always ask your doctor about any concerns you have regarding your balance and medications. Now, I want you to think about something for a moment. Have you ever noticed how things look different depending on how you're standing or moving? Maybe your vision isn't quite as sharp as it used to be, or you find it harder to focus on objects that are far away. That leads us to another reason why balance becomes more challenging with age: changes in vision. As we get older, our vision naturally starts to decline. It might not be dramatic at first, but over time, it can make a big difference in how well we perceive our surroundings. This becomes especially important when it comes to balance, because we rely on our eyes to tell us where we are and what's around us. If you can't see clearly, it becomes harder to maintain steady footing, especially when walking on uneven surfaces or in unfamiliar places. Think about it. How much easier is it to walk through a room when you can clearly see where you're going? Now imagine trying to navigate that same room in low light or with blurred vision. Suddenly, your body has to rely on other senses to make up for what it's missing, and this puts more strain on your balance. The good news is improving your vision, even just a little, can have a huge impact. Whether it's getting an updated prescription for glasses, using brighter lights at home, or making sure you wear your glasses more often, small changes in how you approach your vision can help your balance improve. And let me tell you, it's one of those simple yet powerful things you can do that makes a world of difference. Now, I know we've covered quite a bit, and it might be starting to feel like a lot, but I want to remind you, this isn't about focusing on what's gone wrong. It's about understanding why balance changes as we age and realizing that even though these factors play a role, you still have the power to make things better. Remember, your body is constantly adapting, and with just a little bit of awareness and care, you can make huge strides in improving your balance. Whether it's building stamina, adjusting medications, or paying more attention to your vision, there's so much you can do to stay strong and steady. Another thing that plays a huge role in our balance as we get older is something you might not always think about: our inner ear, or more specifically, the vestibular system. You see, the vestibular system is responsible for helping us sense our position in space and maintain balance. It's all in the inner ear, the small structures that send signals to the brain about where we are and how we're moving. But just like other parts of our body, as we age, our inner ear can become less efficient. This can lead to a condition known as vertigo, which makes you feel like the room is spinning around you, even when you're standing still. It's not a fun experience, and it can seriously throw off your ability to stay balanced. If you've ever felt that sensation, like the floor isn't quite where you thought it was, or like you're about to lose your footing because you feel a little disoriented, it might be related to the vestibular system. Now, here's the good news. There are things you can do to help retrain and improve your balance despite this. Balance exercises that focus on your coordination and spatial awareness can help recalibrate your body's understanding of where it is in space. This can reduce dizziness and give you back that steady feeling when you walk or stand. I know it's a lot to think about, but these are the little things that make a big difference in your day-to-day life. Along the same lines, another major contributor to balance issues as we age is our circulatory system. Our blood vessels, which play a vital role in carrying oxygen and nutrients to our muscles and organs, become less efficient over time. This can affect your ability to stand up quickly without feeling lightheaded or unsteady. For instance, if your blood vessels aren't as flexible or they become more rigid with age, it takes a little longer for your blood to circulate properly after you stand up, leading to that dizzy feeling you might get when you rise too quickly. This is known as orthostatic hypotension, and it's actually more common than you might think. So what can you do about it? One simple strategy is to avoid standing up too quickly. Give your body a moment to adjust when you're transitioning from sitting to standing. And when you do stand up, try standing on your toes for a moment or two before walking, as it helps improve circulation. These small changes can make a noticeable difference in your balance, and they're easy to incorporate into your routine. Now, let's talk about another factor that can really affect your balance: your bones. Osteoporosis, or the thinning of bones, is a common condition that tends to affect many people as they get older. When bones become weaker, there's a higher risk of fractures or breaks, which can impact your ability to move without pain or hesitation. Even without fractures, weaker bones mean your body isn't as sturdy as it once was. Without that solid foundation, your balance might start to feel off. But don't let this worry you. Just because osteoporosis is a risk doesn't mean it's something you can't manage. Weight-bearing exercises, like walking or light strength training, can help increase bone density and make your bones stronger. And it's never too late to start. Talk to your doctor about supplements that can support your bones, like calcium and vitamin D, which are essential for bone health. Finally, let's touch on something that's so important, but often overlooked: mental health. Yes, our emotional and mental well-being has a big impact on our physical health, especially when it comes to balance. When we're stressed, anxious, or feeling down, our mind is often focused on those emotions rather than on our physical surroundings. This can cause us to lose focus or become more easily overwhelmed when we're walking or standing. For some, depression or anxiety can also cause physical symptoms like dizziness or feeling of being disconnected from the body, which affects balance. Taking care of your mental health is just as crucial as taking care of your physical health. So, make time to relax, talk to loved ones, and engage in activities that bring you joy. You might be surprised at how much better you feel, not only emotionally, but physically as well. When your mind feels calm and in control, your body often follows suit, and balance becomes much easier to maintain. Now, I know this has been a lot of information, but I want to leave you with this final thought. None of these balance challenges are set in stone. They don't define you or your future. The important thing to remember is that these are all signals from your body telling you what's going on, and most importantly, giving you the opportunity to take action. Small adjustments, like strengthening your muscles, improving your vision, managing your medications, and taking care of your bones, can all make a big difference. The goal isn't just to live longer, but to live better. You don't have to let balance issues hold you back. With the right mindset and habits, you can improve your balance, regain confidence, and keep doing the things you love. You're in charge of your health, and every step you take, no matter how small, is a step toward a stronger, steadier you. If you found this helpful, I encourage you to leave a comment below. I'd love to hear about your experiences and how you're taking control of your balance. If you're still with me, just type yes in the comments to let me know you're ready to take action. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you can continue learning with me. Together, we can keep moving forward one step at a time. Thank you for being here. And remember, you've got this.